Thank you, Mr. President. I rise in support of the amendment. I have to admit, I cringe when I hear the phrase risk reduction in the context of someone who's committed a violent crime and who's about to be released into the community. And I think, risk reduction for whom? For the community they're about to be released into? For the victims of their crimes? Do you think any of those communities feel safer with someone who's been convicted of a violent crime being released into their midst years earlier than perhaps they would have been? Or how about the victims of a crime, particularly women who have been victims of rape? How do you think they feel when the rapist who raped them is released back into the community? Do you think they feel safer? Do you think there's less risk in the community with the rapist back in the community? I personally know 3 young women who were raped when they were teenagers. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, they are serving life sentences. Nothing's ever going to change that. How do you think women, especially women who were victimized and raped when they were teenagers, feel when the adult males who preyed upon them are released back into the community? Do you think they feel safer? A few hours ago, Senator Harp in this debate spoke very eloquently about rehabilitation and redemption. And I join her in agreeing. I believe in rehabilitation and I believe in redemption. But ladies and gentlemen, rehabilitation and redemption are written in the heart. They're in here. They might be manifested by external actions, but you can't really see them. I want to read to you what criminals convicted of a violent crime have to do or can do to earn free time under this program. Under subsection B, it says, an inmate may earn risk reduction credit for adherence to the inmate's offender accountability plan and for participation in eligible programs or activities, good conduct, and obedience to institutional rules. Well, as Senator McKinley said, you're supposed to be doing that in the first place. All I know is this, and I think most people who might be listening to this debate might think this. If you're locked away in prison for many, many years under very restrictive circumstances, and you have the chance to earn your way out of prison 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4 years earlier than might be normal, wouldn't you be doing everything you could to get out and get your freedom, whether you have a change of heart or not, whether you're really rehabilitated or not? The motivation for good behavior is the reward of early release. It may or may not reflect a real change of heart, a really rehabilitated person. I know this, too. I know that when it comes to sex crimes, the rate of recidivism is extremely high. And it's not the exception, it's the rule. As legislators, we have a great responsibility to our communities. And to me, one of the highest responsibilities we have is a responsibility for the safety of our communities. I'm not a lawyer. I don't pretend to understand the intricacies of the law, and I don't pretend to understand much less the intricacies of the parole system and the system we have in place to allow people to serve less than their full jail time. And again, I would bet that 99% of the people who are citizens of the state don't understand those details either, and probably don't care about those details. But I can tell you this. As an elected legislator, I view it my number one responsibility to see to the safety of our citizens and our children. And I'm extremely reluctant to support a law which is going to release in the community not people accused of violent crimes, people convicted of violent crimes. I think it's a violation of our oath to do so. And I personally don't want any part of it. Again, I've known people, young people, who have been the victims of terrible violent crime. And they are still living with the results 10, 15, and 20 years later. Whatever the situation of the rapist who raped them, free or in jail, those women are living with it for the rest of their lives. And when and if any of the perpetrators of those crimes are released, their suffering and their pain will be magnified again. So I want to rise up strongly in support of the amendment on the floor that will stop the release, the early release under this program, the risk reduction program, of perpetrators of violent crime back into our community. No way, nowhere. Thank you.